Hi. There's a couple of things in this course information section in regards to COVID-19. There's actually, I think, three things in that little section. One is a brief video that the student government put together. Great little clip. Recommend that. Not required to get into your week one material, but it is good information. The two documents that are required for you to look at and before you get into week one, it's the COVID protocols for fall 2020, and it goes through all the details as far as when testing centers are open, what to do if you're exposed, what all that. So all the questions you have about how the college is going to operate during the COVID is necessary. Actually, let's just open it up and show you. And of course I can't get down. So let me see if I can slide this over a little bit. There we go. So this is going to go through all the protocols for 2020. I think we've heard enough about. We know it's spread by respiratory droplets, and the college has done a lot of work this summer in trying to make sure employees, staff, visitors, and the communities are safe. Now, to do that, there are things that we're going to be doing and are subject to change as either situations change or our scheduling changes, or just the volume of activity. If we can't handle certain things, that will modify. Let's say the lines are too long for temperature checking. Maybe we'll do some different things. But one thing we're going to do is the CDC recommends that a whole lot of symptoms go on. Symptoms occur in between 2 to 14 days after exposure. And of course, there's a series of questions they want you, if you answer yes to any one of these, stay home. If you've had a fever, cough, chills, shortness of breath, if you've had a fever, stay home. If you've had a cough that has an onset in the last 14 days and not related to seasonal allergies, if you've been exposed to someone in the last 14 days, if that's the case, stay home. Now, if you have symptoms, you want to make sure you notify the instructor. So they notify me and notify student services, and then based on which campuses you're on, whether Dina Holman or Dr. Kim Van Wee at Watauga. And do not return. Do not return. Don't be a hero. I will work with you to make up work or whatever the case may be to get you back on track. But don't come back unless you're symptom free and have been cleared by a doctor. Now, exposure. Now, some people just think, oh, I was around somebody. Well, it's close contact, less than 6 feet for more than 15 minutes. So I think we've structured the classrooms and stuff that should never be the case, but that's our definition. It isn't just, gee, I walked past somebody that may have had it. It's, I had close contact with them. Now, face coverings, we're going to mandate it. It's, anytime social distancing can't be maintained, have it, but expected to carry your face mask with you just in case. We're going to try to have wear your face mask at all times, especially in the buildings, class, labs, outdoors on campus. If you can get social distance, you don't need to. Exceptions, if you're in your private office or individual study rooms, that's working. And supposedly I'm not required to wear face masks teaching because we've got the classes set up that way, but I'm going to gauge that based on how I feel. Now, granted, you just want to make sure. Now, if you have a medical reason that you can't wear a face mask, contact Tuesday Sigmund, the Director of Counseling and Disability, and her email and phone number's there. So take a look at that and contact her to have her go through her protocol to get that. Now, we want you to protect yourself, but if you refuse to wear your face mask in the buildings and classrooms and stuff, and don't have a major medical exception, we could discipline you under the violation of the Student Code of Conduct. So we will direct you to the Vice President of Student Services if we run into any issues. So just wear your face mask. Temperature scanning, it'll be scanned each day as you enter campus for everybody, and you get a different colored wristband, and all they're going to do is check is your temperature below 100.4. The hours for buildings on F, it's of course this is an online class, but you can see the hours, pretty much 7 to 7, 7 to 5 most days. If you're truck driving, it's 7 to 6. Watauga, hours are a little bit shorter, except for the W building, where it's 7:30 to 7. So just make sure you get in time, get to class in time to be able to do this. Social distancing, 6 feet apart. Classrooms and labs have been rearranged to account for all that. We've reduced the number of class sizes. Normally a class of 14 is probably going to be a class of 6 or 7. So that we can social distances. There have been plexiglass barriers put around different areas of the campus to cover that. Elevators, only 2 people in an elevator. There are certain places that used to allow congregation of large number of students have been pretty much will remain closed. The student lounges, gaming room, weight room, gyms, civic center. Water fountains unavailable except for bottle filling stations. I think the Watauga campus has a few installed. The Caldwell campus has got 4. It should be close to being installed, so hopefully our definitely we've hired a whole lot more cleaning staff. You'll see more hand sanitizing station, pretty much 1 on every floor, maybe a couple on each floor. But between classes, at least if there's a long enough period of time, if it's a 5-minute, 10-minute break between classes, you probably won't see cleaning crew, but we'll have increased staff to keep that done. And of course, we'll have signage in place to remind you to wash, safety precautions and things, all of those things to keep you safe. There are definitely some frequently asked questions. What happens if someone in my class tests? I will announce that someone in the class has been tested positive, but I will not reveal your name. Again, the exposure definition, less than 6 feet for 15 minutes or more. Definitely want you to self-monitor and contact yourself if you become symptomatic. If you test positive, first and foremost, understand I will work with you. I will work with you whether you test positive or just related symptoms or have been exposed and are self-isolating yourself. I will work with you, but notify me, notify student services, that way. And before you return to campus, make sure student services feels you're safe enough to come back. If you've had symptoms, you just want to make sure at least stay home 10 days have passed from the onset and at least 24 hours that you've had no fever and you're not taking any fever-reducing medications, and all your other symptoms have improved. If you've never developed symptoms, you can return after 10 days after you've been your first positive test. What happens if your COVID-related systems are closed to someone? Again, notify me, notify student services, and definitely should not come to campus if you're sick. Exposure testing positive, just if you test positive, even if you go get a test, wait to get the results. I don't want you to go get tests and then come back, and then all of a sudden come 2 days later, test positive. So if you feel you got symptoms, go get tested. Just stay home, contact me, and we'll work out your schedule. Maintain isolation. Now, the Corporate Care Clinic is open Monday through Wednesday, 8 till noon. Those hours may change as we see how much traffic they get. But if you're exposed and you start feeling symptoms, we have some, once you've notified everybody, if you've got immediate insulation, just go home. If for some reason you don't have immediate transportation, we have some isolation rooms set up, on the Caldwell campus, B104, the TAPS, the truck driving training being in room 100, Watauga, the former bookstore. And definitely if you're going to use one of those rooms or need one of those, there's a series of numbers. You can contact someone to let you in and make sure that they know you're there. And do not return to classes, until you've been cleared. Our study groups encouraged. I think the both on and off campus, we encourage it, but we highly encourage you to stay very, very vigilant as you're fighting this spread. In a perfect world, I would use electronic meetings, Zoom, whatever the case may be, to hold those study groups. Try to keep your study group to less than 10 people. Make sure it's well ventilated. Meet outside if you can. Wear your face coverings. Use your social distancing. Some of the cases that at the highest risk end up being just the case of a study group getting too close. So that one's that document, I think. Now the other one is if for some reason, now granted this, we need to transition to 100% online. If you're one of my online classes, you're already there. But if you're not, this is the procedure that, some of the things that I think I want to make sure that you're aware of that we're going to do. Open that document. Give it a second here. All right. Let me increase the volume a little bit. Now, if for some reason from a seated class that we're going to switch to 100% online like we did in the spring, here's some things that I want you to be aware of. Communication. I want to make sure that you're told specifically how and when to expect communication. You've looked at the syllabus quiz. You know that one will be posting announcements in Moodle. I'll be sending out student email. But I will probably use remind text the most. How I'm going to deliver all material from a seated standpoint, I'll post all the assignments, all the lectures. I'll be recording the lectures, and those will be posted in Moodle. office hours, my office hours would stay the same, but I would make them online instead of in my office. So that way, at least, and I'll set up a link in Moodle that will show you what those are. Testing and deadlines. How you're going to be informed. I will make sure that between Moodle and Remind, when things are due. Technical issues. Some of you may not have PCs or internet access. Just let me know. And we'll be communicating via email or contact, or that's where this Remind is mentioned over and over and over again. That is my key, because I want to respond to that quickly, and pretty much from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. Now, if for some reason you're having access issues, you don't have computers, internet, whatever the case may be, let me know. That way we can try to make arrangements if possible. I mean, during the fall and the spring when this happened, we had computers that could be loaned out, set up, different Wi-Fi buses. So just let me know if for some reason you don't have access to the internet or a computer. How quickly do I usually respond to anything? Even though I said Remind text within 8 hours, I mean, if you text me at midnight, I may not get to you to the next morning. Email, I'll try to get to you in 2 days. I check that more regularly than that, but over the weekend, things like that, I may not get back to you that quickly. If you have any disability, make sure you identify that disability with student services, and I will we'll work accordingly. Now, if for some reason I get sick or I need a full backup, I will notify you of who the backup is. It'll be one of the other faculty members, but just let you know, we'll try to keep these classes going online, and if we needed changes, we're not going to try to slow down or just wait till I get back. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of information on COVID, and if we need to go back online. So you need to review these 2 documents before you get into week 1 material along with the syllabus quiz. Thank you. Bye-bye.